let's talk football. We're getting further along in the season, and at some point you have to start recognizing who's real and who's not. There's a lot of teams out there that expectations were very high for, but over the course of the season, as of right now, they're falling way below these expectations. One of the teams specifically that stands out is Miami. Now, they went up to Buffalo. They was competing, playing pretty good. But once again, Buffalo was able to make plays at the end and pull that game out. I think Buffalo's going to win that division. The Jets are disappointing. They got a nice little win the other night, but they're in transition. They have an interim coach. Seem to be in disarray, but they still have Aaron Rodgers. They have Devontae Adams, and who's been a nice addition, and Garrett Wilson. So the jury is still out. They're gonna have to string. They cannot. They like one. Maybe it might be too late for them, but they might be one game away, one loss away from just being, being totally season slipping away from them. But they was able to salvage a little faith in their season by a win last week. I think they play the Cardinals this coming Thursday, I believe. So Cardinals are playing pretty good. Cardinals are what now, 5-4, I believe, or something like that. So they're doing pretty well. I mean, they got a defense that seems like they're putting a pass rush together, and they got a defensive-minded coach. So Kyle Murphy is doing well, and John Connor is doing pretty good. And hey, watch out for the Cardinals. That's going to be a tough division too. Seattle lost. Very hard-fought game. Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions, 2 of them, I believe, in the red zone. That's not good. He owned up to that. But Geno Smith is still leading the league in passing. So, say what you want. He's still dangerous. But Seattle is tough. It's still a tough place to play. They lost at home, which is unheard of. I think they lost like the last 3 at home, which is crazy, but they're going to be solid. The Rams, don't count them out. Don't count them out. Matthew Stafford, he's making plays. As you can see, that play he made at the end. When you have one like that, man, you can stay close and stay in the game, they're going to make a difference. And Matthew Stafford was the difference maker yesterday against Seattle. He really was. San Francisco, who are the favorites to win the division, they look strong against the Cowboys, but the Cowboys, I think, is in disarray. But they look strong. They did what they had to do. When you get a team like that, especially a rival, you get a team like that that's coming to your house in disarray, you do what you have to do. Now, they got a little shaky at the end for them, but they was able to maintain. And so I still got them, San Francisco, to win that division. And I believe they get Christian McCaffrey back. He starts his 21-day practice point to see where he's at. So we'll see how that progresses. But they need him. They've been devastated by injuries, and they need all the bodies. They need all the bodies they can get. That take care of the West. The North, NFC North, probably the most competitive division in the league. You have, I believe, Minnesota won. You have them. That's there. You have what was Minnesota's? They only lost one game, I believe. Yeah. So you have Minnesota. You have Detroit. I would say will probably be the favorite, but I'm not counting Minnesota out. But Detroit is rolling. They are rolling, man. Ben Johnson got that offense rolling, and they are a fun bunch to watch. Jared Goff is playing out of his mind. His passing percentage rate is just off the charts. He's playing very well, and they on a mission. They got something to prove because they were a couple of miscues away from beating San Francisco last year. So they have something to prove. Green Bay, they lost yesterday. The quarterback's not healthy. They was able to win with backup Malik Willis a couple games early until he got himself together after he suffered a injury in the first game against the Jordan Love. I'm speaking of. He suffered that injury against the Eagles in Mexico. So he's been kind of like hampered with some nagging injuries. But he is a talent, and he's going to give it a go as long as he can. As long as he can do it. He's going to tough it out. And he's been sitting on the bench behind Aaron Rodgers, so if he can walk, stand, pass, or whatever. Now he had a rough day yesterday. Don't get me wrong. He made some crazy decisions in the rain under duress, but I'm very impressed with Green Bay. I'm impressed with them. I've been impressed for a minute. I love the coaching staff there. I think they do a great job. They got a good defense, and they just ran into a Detroit team that's determined. Like I said, they're on a mission, and so that division is going to play itself out. I think it's going to come down to ultimately, God, I can't really call it. It can come down to Green Bay. It can come down to Minnesota. It can come down to Detroit. But I think Detroit might take it. I think. We'll see. The East, right now the Commanders, 7-2. They took care of their business yesterday up in New York. They did what they had to do. Divisional game. When them two teams play, it's always close. And the Giants came in with that game plan of running the football to establish the run. They did that. They had 142 plus yards in the first quarter. They executed the game plan, but they had to because they probably would have got 40 to 50 points scored on them. If they wasn't able to have that ball control, you getting the ball to Jaden Daniels and that offense, Cliff Kingsbury offense, because they was efficient when they got out there. Because the Giants controlled the time of possession, and so once that offense got out there, they moved the ball. You can't hold this offense down. They move the ball, and that's one thing they have. They can move the football. They rarely punt. They're gonna get some points, and when they needed to get the points, they did. Especially in the first half when they was able to get that points and they was marching the ball down in that 3rd and 18 when De'Ami Brown caught that little check down and took it like 24 yards. Come on, man. Come on. And Jaden Daniels is playing lights out football. He's not a rookie. He is a rookie, but he's not playing like a rookie. You were looking at historic feats from him. You know what I mean? The way he handles himself, the calmness. It's not a too cool to school type calm. Too cool for school type of coolness that you see these guys got. No, he has a real calm demeanor, a calming effect on his team. Like, I'll get you guys lined up, just get in position. He'll move people over. He'll do this. Hey man, he looks like a seasoned veteran to me. I'm just saying. He's got to be the Rookie of the Year, and he's having a great season so far. Long way to go, still a great season, and he's checks all the boxes for me. I threw away this receipt a long time ago, so Jaden Daniels is good money in my book. Now the team, Philadelphia, the Eagles. The coaching staff got a lot of pressure on them. Mike Sirianni did everything possible to blow that lead yesterday. It was no way Jacksonville should have made that interesting to try to give that game away. Yet the talent on his team was able to to persevere and to overcome some coaching decision making that you kind of shake your head at. That's all I can say. He is what he is. He is what he is. They turned their season around. They're looking pretty good. Saquon Barkley with the ridiculous leapfrog backwards move in the midst of a play. I've never seen that before from a football player. This is the type of player Saquon Barkley is. He is a beast on that football field, and we have to see him in a couple weeks. We got to get past Pittsburgh, and I'm not taking Pittsburgh lightly at all. We have to play Pittsburgh here, and that's going to be a pretty. It's going to be a pretty tough game. It's going to be a tough game. Pittsburgh got a good defensive team, and we're pretty good offensively. It's going to be a good game. I think we're favored by 2.5. I'm going to leave it like that. I'll comment more about that game leading up to the game. Probably on Saturday I'll make a video about that. I'll upload something. As far as Dallas Cowboys, I believe they cooked. The quarterback Dak, he's out reported that he's out for maybe several weeks with a hamstring. More severe than what they initially thought was in the report. Cooper Rush, backup quarterback. Trey Lance being the third string quarterback. Cooper Rush is serviceable. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives them a spark. They might win a game here and there. But I just don't. I don't trust Dallas. I never have in my whole football life. I've never trusted the Cowboys. Just never trust them. I know they've been good. I know they're the so-called America's team and all that. I get that. Just never trusted them in a big spot. Nah. Just can't do it. But some teams, they can just come out there, Dallas can come out there and just roll their helmets out there, and some teams kind of fold. You know what I mean? If you get past all of that, you see them for what they are. They don't really scare anybody. They don't. And we'll see how their season unfold with Dak being out. We'll see what they can do. Mike McCarthy on the hot seat. Jerry Jones, people are mad at him because they want him to just kind of like relieve the general manager duties and hire a real GM. He's not going to do that. He's 82 years old. Or he could be something in his 80s, but I don't see him relinquishing any power at all. He came in with that attitude. He said he's going to control everything from the jocks to the socks. So, and he's held that power because he owns the team. He's held that power since 1989. And he's able to get 3 Super Bowls, though. So, and he has a football acumen. He's played the game. And like I said, he was able to get 3 Super Bowls, but Jerry's ego tends to get in the way sometimes, and that's a problem. As far as the Giants, the New York Football Giants, predictable. And I'm not here to pick on them. I won't do it. I won't pick on them. Predictable. Because, see, the Giants has never really been a real... they have our number. And it's a tough game every time we play. But the Giants... They gotta figure something out. I don't know if Dable gonna be there long enough for them to figure it out. I think he got to vote with confidence. Him and the GM. I think they got to vote with confidence from the owner. But do you trust the owner anymore? Mayor, John Mayer. Do you trust him? Giant fans. This is a question for you. Do you trust him? No. So We'll see. Uh, as far as the South, I'm just talking about the NFC today. We'll go on the AFC another time. But as far as the South, New Orleans just fired a coach after starting 2-0. They had lost 7 straight games. They lost to Carolina. So they fired their coach. They might be selling at the trade deadline. Sean Lattimore. It's an interesting piece at the cornerback position. I would love to have him on the Commanders, but we'll see. We'll let it play out. I know his name has been rumored with KC and linked to some other teams, including the Commanders, but we'll see. We'll see. I trust the GM. Whatever he, in the front office, I trust him completely. I trust him. So, would it be a nice luxury to have? Do we need him? Yes, of course. But at the right price. At the right price. At the right price. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Adam liked to give up draft picks so easily. It has to be at the right price. So, New Orleans, Derek Carr, they got some pieces, man. I mean, we'll see. Well, let's just see. Cause I'm shocked that they lost 7 games. I mean, so let's see how they gather themselves after this. It's gonna be tough, man. But let's see if the player, when you're a football player, I would think the last thing you want to be associated with, and we know it's a business, coaches come and go, but when a coach gets fired damn near midway through the season, this early in the season, I don't know, but we'll see. Who else? Atlanta is on top of the division. The Dirty Birds, they're doing well. Kirk Cousins is playing well, man. They beat Dallas yesterday. Kirk Cousins threw like 3 touchdowns. They got a good running game. They got good tight end, good receivers. They look strong, man. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna be a tough out. You go down there and I think we got to play them too. So we got to go down to Atlanta in that dome, and they in first place. The fans down there, they get to party and get to doing that. That type of thing. Good to see Atlanta. In the mix, but it's gonna be tough. Tampa Bay's still there. They beat Tampa Bay twice, so Atlanta really has put themselves in a good position. They got the quarterback. Now Tampa Bay, on the other hand, they play tonight. They're going against the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions, and I don't see them winning. I don't. And I like Todd Bowles. I mean, defensively, Todd Bowles' defenses have to take chances, man. But I think Baker is going to have to do something. I mean, I hate when they have to put it on Baker, because Baker tends to, he already is a gunslinger. And if he gets that mindset, I have to do more than what I need to do, then it can get ugly. It can get ugly, bro. But we'll see. I just think they have to maintain. But it's gonna be tough for them. In Carolina, they got a win yesterday. Bryce Young, I think, was started, but they're still thinking about. They don't know who their starter gonna be for next week. But hey, Carolina's what Carolina is right now, man. They need help. They need help bad. So that's the NFC in a nutshell. We're just talking football today. And I'll talk about the AFC probably in another day or two. Anyway, peace. Thank you for tuning in to Vanguardian TV.